Welcome to another FPV Guy video. I'm Bo Lorentzen, the FPV Guy. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Walkera F210. This is a smaller multirotor that is deliberately designed to be a mini quad racer. And one of the things Walkera has really worked hard on is improve the crash resistance compared to the previous products they've been making. This thing is gorgeous and it feels strong. However, to test these claims, we have brought in the Brad. You all have heard of the Brad. People are afraid of him. Nobody knows where he comes from, but what everybody knows is if he can't destroy it, nobody can destroy it. So before we get started, I need to tell you a little bit more about the Brad. Brad is actually an authorized Unique repair center, and he also does multirotor repairs. So if you're looking for multirotor repairs, I would shoot him a PM. Now let's get back to what we are here for today. Brad, can you start helping me crack this open? And as you can see, this is the white box.
Man, I'm excited about this, Bo.
Well, this is a new product, and it's not and this is probably not 100% production style because it is a pre-production unit.
Let's just get this out of the way to make sure.
Let's see the radio. So the full kit comes with a Devo 7 radio, and I did a real quick bit of testing. The mix switch, right now the mix switch is the modes. All the way up in the mix 0 is your stabilize, and if you flip it down to mix 2, then you have rate mode. Importantly, it's an F3 controller. You told me that was a lot better than what they used to fly.
Well, F3 is just the newer generation processor. It's a lot quicker, it's a lot faster, and it handles the algorithms better. It's what all the new kids and all the fast kids are racing right now. It really makes a difference in flight. You could feel the difference with an F3 controller over a standard 32-bit controller.
So the F3 is legit flight controller by today's standard.
That's the cat's meow. It's the new thing.
Alrighty, wow. So this is, I like that. I've already been flying this a bit, and I gotta tell you, it's a nice ride. So, well, Brad, why don't you do the honors and pop this thing out? This is a stock. It's not something you built yourself. It's a stock multirotor.
Well, first impressions, I like how Walkera's kept with their little floppy antennas.
We like floppy.
Well, it crashes well, and it serves its purpose because it gets
stick that up to the camera a bit. So
it gets it out where it's usable and polarization's correct, but it still allows it to get out of the way in a crash, but won't really get down into the props. I like that. That's one thing that strikes me coming out of the box. The other thing is the thing's light. Like compared to the runner, this is on par with a typical racer. This thing's not far off. And let me stick the battery in here. And the other cool thing is the battery drops down in that notch. That's slick. Gives it a protection. I see
need
it.
To slide that.
Yeah, I see you added some foam here. I don't think that's stock.
Actually, the foam, I just took it out of the case, literally.
Oh, it's a piece of the case.
What it does is it keeps the battery in the center of gravity just to make it easier.
There we go. And it'll help in a crash too. Give it a little.
And by the way, that extra space, we use that because I printed a little mount here that is a little bent thing that allows me to stick a Mobius camera right on here so we can get some flight video for you today.
Well, the next thing that strikes me just out of the box is the way that they did the antenna here. It's proprietary right now, but they didn't leave it that way. If you wanted to run a different aftermarket antenna, you could and just screw it on here, but it still leaves some strength. And this isn't a super stiff part. This is flexy, so this will take a crash and not just break. And the XT60 on there, I like that because when things do wrong or anything does happen, you can just rip that thing apart, and then it's just real easy to plug in back again. Well,
one of the things I noticed is down here you've got screws on the bottom that allows you to unscrew the ESC, and then the ESC literally pulls straight out and pulls out of the motor here, so it's very easy to change the ESC. I don't think you're gonna bust them.
Ooh, and what's this? What's that there on the bottom?
Well, all these little screws here holds in place a lid. So you unscrew 4 of these Allen head screws, and you literally
You got an access panel.
You got an access panel, and that's actually a 2mm carbon sheet, and then the arms itself is a 1-piece sheet out of 3mm. So you got a ton of strength down here, and what they did, they're holding it all together. You can maybe see that little yellow thing right here. That's actually kind of like a roll bar that's holding onto the different elements.
So it kind of brings it together. That's the other thing that kind of struck me, is this aluminum front brace. That one thing with mini quads, when you crash them real hard, standoffs, they kind of do this shift forward thing and they end up all bent. This brace, that looks like that might really help with kind of keeping everything from shifting forward on a sudden impact and causing everything to go out of alignment. And these vertical plates will also help with that too, keeping everything square in a crash.
So what we're going to do here today is we have the original runner, and if you look at this design here, you can see it's a lot thinner and a lot flimsier. This one is really hardcore and it can take a beating like crazy. So today, we're not going to play with that one. We are going to play with this one. We're going to start out slowly and we're going to crash this thing. We want to see how this stands up to a number of standard crashes, scratching the ground, hitting plants, etc. The kind of stuff that we do all the time.
Yeah, normal flying, it just happens. It's not that you're trying to crash or trying to be an idiot. It just happens.
No, I mean, we can't fly without crashing these things.
Yeah.
The point is, of course, there's no such thing as a crash-proof quad.
Yeah, and if you're having any fun, you're ducking between things, you're flying low to the ground and that sort of thing.
Having fun.
Yeah.
But we can destroy anything. I mean, let's be fair to Walkera.
Well,
here.
yeah. We could plant this thing at a brick wall at 100 miles an hour, and we will break something. But we're going to go out and fly this normal. We're going to let it bounce off a few things, and we'll see what happens.
So we're trying to create a situation where we are doing the crashes you are likely to do in your everyday flying with this, and
not abusive, just normal flying.
Well, it's abusive when we do it deliberately.
Well, yeah.
Kind of. So, having said that, enough talking, let's get to crashing. Wow. Well, this was really fun.
Dude, it was awesome.
I can't believe how many times we crashed this thing.
Oh, dude, over and over, and it's still flying. That thing's pretty slick.
And we actually probably crashed this about 3 to 4 times more than what you're going to see on the videos here, because we kept missing the right spot and just kind of like crashing it.
Intentionally crashing something is really kind of difficult. You're forcing yourself into the ground. It's really unnatural, but I'm surprised we tumbled this thing over one shot. We tumbled it 60 feet. Like,
yeah, it just kind of kept going.
Yeah, it just rolled right along the ground. It was.
And we also got a little bit of flight video, so we're gonna make sure you see some flight video. Now, looking at this, we got some pretty good gouges in the aluminum front here, so it definitely took some impact. And the only thing we actually managed to break, aside from a handful of propellers, we're kind of running out of propellers now, but we managed to bend out of shape and break the skid on the left front motor. So that really, considering the amount of impact...
Well, we bent the antennas down a few times and these over, but yeah, dude, this thing's taking some hits.
I mean, so where we at? We compare to your average flyer.
It's not unbreakable, but we definitely threw it through some good crashes, a couple of props and some scratches. That ain't nothing. This thing's a solid racer. I'm very excited about it. It's got potential. They
so
did
on
it
a
right.
scale from 1 to 10, I'm gonna rate this one. Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's a holy wow. It's cool. It's clean. You could tell by this. It's hit the ground a few times.
Yeah, and the camera a couple of times was like bent.
Tilts up, but that's
somehow
no big deal.
way back in its back neighborhood, but and here's the thing, it's still flying. There's no problems. It's able to fly, new props, and we're still flying basically.
Yeah, you're going to be able to go home and recharge batteries, handful of props, and you're flying again tomorrow. That's the cool thing about this. They didn't leave you broken and hanging with this.
So the one thing I'm kind of walking away with here is, if you're new to flying these things, this is a good racer to get into. It's not a GPS racer, and God forbid they make a GPS racer, because GPS racer sucks.
No point of GPS on a racer.
No, I mean, it's like putting cruise control on a NASCAR.
Yeah.
What idiot would do that?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But what it does do is, this can stand up to the amount of abuse you're going to put on it while you learn to fly. I'm sure you're going to break something, but trust me, if you break this thing, you would have broken pretty much anything else you would have been flying as well.
Well, and it's a good starting point too, because it's got the agility and it's light enough and powerful enough to where you're not going to be hindered by the platform itself. It's going to take the crashes, it's going to allow you to grow as a racer. It's going to be an excellent out-of-the-box platform. I'm very excited about this.
So that's where we're at. Now, we've got an unbox video and a review video coming up with a lot more details, so make sure you subscribe and click on the subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos, because we are gonna be both testing this more, and we also have more multirotors coming up for more reviews. So stay tuned and subscribe, and thank you for watching the FPV Guy videos. Dude, this is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think we need to go fly it some more. Thank you.